Alright guys, so today we have another 2v2. This one's actually with Turin and myself. We both decided to go with New Bretonnia, and we're squaring off against another New Bretonnia, as well as some Greenskins. Greenskins. I thought for a second it might have been Bloody Hands. But army composition for me is pretty standard. When we were in the pre-game section, it was double Greenskins, and the guy switched to Bretonnia at the last second, so we still have a pretty good composition on my end. I'm pretty much split up with 2 units of the Foot Squires and 3 units of Battle Pilgrims. These Battle Pilgrims are going to be really great against any of the Greenskins that we were fighting against, and with these Foot Squires, they're going to be anti-armor, so it's going to be great because they're anti-infantry and anti-armor, so this was going to be awesome against, say, things like Black Orcs or anything of the sort. And with these Battle Pilgrims, they are frenzied, so that's going to be pretty awesome to stack up mainly against another infantry army to have a strong front line. I mentioned that a lot in some of my videos, is talking about having a strong line of battle and no blobbing. That's pretty important here. And we went with a stronger kind of air force in this one as well. I really wanted to have Leonke on the Hippogriff. I hadn't done that yet. I hadn't tried him in the campaign like that, so we went that route. And I went with 2 Royal Pegasus Knights. Always a solid choice. And Turin has a very similar setup. His has a little bit more spearmen than mine, so that he can kind of go against cavalry, because we did notice this kind of last minute change. And we kind of decided, hey, Turin, you go fight the Greenskins, and I will go fight Bretonnia. Bretonnia chose a pretty interesting setup here. You can see how he's got his trebuchet in the back, the Blessed Field trebuchet, and he's got his 2 archers surrounded by peasant mobs with a front line of spearmen, halberdiers, and men-at-arms, which is, again, a real interesting setup. I wouldn't go that way, but to each their own. He has a paladin in the back here on foot, no doubt to give a little boost here to his guys. And then he's got, I think there's 2 stacks of Grail Knights in here, I believe. Yeah, there's 2 stacks of Grail Knights, 2 Knights of the Realm, and then mounted yeomen, which is a very heavy cavalry presence. And me being someone that did not choose any kind of anti-cav like spears, that kind of puts a thorn in my side. But I'm pretty sure here that the Royal Pegasus Knights are going to do a pretty good job of quelling those rowdy Grail Knights. So we can see that I'm getting in position pretty well. I have my Pegasus Knights and my Leoncoeur kind of flanking up the right side here to try and keep pressure and keep everything in one area. Turin he was explicitly talking about how he wanted to assassinate someone with that Green Knight, and he was making a bolt for it here, going right for that Night Goblin Shaman, which is a pretty good tactic to kind of knock out casting on the other side, because there's no other casting over here. I believe this is there's no Enchantress, not an Enchantress, but a Damsel on the Bretonnian side. But a couple pot shots coming off from Turin's, from my allies' Field Trebuchet, and some coming off from my opponent's Field Trebuchet, but no real big contact yet, until we get the archers kind of starting to pummel those Greenskins. And the Black Orcs are going to slam right into those Foot Squires, which is going to be great, because that anti-infantry and that anti-AP is going to just saw through those guys like butter. Pretty good engagement across the line here. Leaving himself open, this opponent's going to get pretty much flanked, but he does have a contingent of Night Goblins coming around on the side here. I think he's got some of those Skulkers, yeah. Let's go back to what's going on my end. So, nothing really special was going to happen with my tactics. I went with just a straight up hit him in the front and use my Royal Pegasus Knights to take out the threat of the cavalry on my flanks, because that was going to be a pretty hard battle to win if they just pretty much rolled through the whole side of my army. But having the Damsel with life is really strong, because the Damsel can pretty much just keep your units standing, even when they're pitted up against a fight that's not going to go too well. And right now we see we have the cavalry meeting my Pegasus Knights to really kind of equalize that threat and make it so that they're not going to be jumping all over my guys and causing a flank rout right that. I always love when it says, "Your lord is under attack," when you have like a beastly lord. Yes, let them come. Let them see the foolishness of their ways. Interesting thing too here. It looks like the peasant bowmen have. I think it's. I'm looking to see. Yeah, there it is. He's got one unit who's got fire arrows. I was making sure they weren't Nox arrows. I didn't want to completely sell myself short here. Looks like he's got that his Alberic de Bourdois coming in with his deadly onslaught and heroic killing blow here, which is not going to do too much because Leon Coeur is not even in the fight yet. But I popped some Shield of Thorns here to really kind of help out with keeping things on the same momentum. As you can see, a lot of his army has already started to rout. So, boom! There goes the dynamite. The Bretonnian army pretty much routing. I knew that I'd be having to come over here and help out with my allies' army, but it's still at the same time. Turin had these Grenskins pretty heavily under control. The Black Orcs that he had squared off against these Foot Squires were all but destroyed, and all that's left was these other unit of Black Orcs fighting with these Savage Big Guns and these Night Goblins. As you can see, full-scale rout again happening. The range definitely picked up the most kills of everything in my direct opponent's army, because they were firing almost the entire time. That's when I decided, okay, I really need to equalize those. The cavalry's no longer a threat anymore, so I got my Pegasus Knights in there to kind of even the odds. And I mean, for the most part here, I still have a full unit of pox arrows for my bowmen, and looks like everything is going as planned, as you can see. It's always kind of hard to tell when you have two the exact same. You got to kind of look for, there it is. There's my enemy. But majority of my units intact. Their lord's dead. Leon Coeur is just a floating beast of destruction, still completely full life. You can see most of the things over in Turin's land falling apart when it comes to the enemy. Green Knight's still going strong, giving it to those Grenskins. That's that big thing with Gringor Ironhide. He's got that armor piercing, so he's just going to slap anything around with armor on it. And he's just a beast in himself, so he's in there for the long haul. And as you can see, Turin also went with some Royal Pegasus Knights. We wanted to keep that air dominance, knowing that we were up against another Bretonnian player with the last man. We got Leon Coeur just biting the head off peasants. You know, the French, loving biting the heads off peasants and such. For any of my French viewers, I don't know if that's an actual fact. It's kind of a joke. I'm sorry. But for the most part, you really see how the spread of the unit composition using both Battle Pilgrims and Foot Squires really helps to even out the distribution of infantry. I had things that were anti-infantry, I had things that were anti-AP, and I had a strong front line. Supported in by the Flying Cav and the Yonker, it was a pretty strong comp against what we were up against. I, being the one that's still learning a lot of this, this is all still very new to me, but at the same time it's very eye-opening every time there's a major victory and every time there's a major loss from it. So, as you can see, we got that Grimgore just bitten to death by Leon Coeur again. It's like 2 lords for him. But that's that one, guys. Thanks for joining me. Be on the lookout for some more multicasts. Maybe another one with Golem. You never know if you get lucky or not. You know, I know a lot of you really enjoyed that. It's hard to do the voice, but I love doing it for people. So please sub and feel free to make comments or any kind of critiques on the way we played today. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks and have a good one.